Hello, and welcome to Shamrock Talk, the internet's #1 mother-son Celtics podcast. I'm your host, Jake Olin, here once again with my mother, Karen Olin.
Hello, everybody.
Up in Maine. I'm still here in Argentina.
Hiding in my bedroom because people are out in the main room. Been locked away.
The old bedroom. Interesting week for the Celtics. I guess we could start right at the beginning. The day that we recorded, that night, should have waited one day because Celtics had their biggest stinker of the season by far, losing to the Thunder 150-117. Highs for this game are canceled. There were no highs. The highs have been canceled. There's only lows.
You want to know my only high? The only high I had was Peyton Pritchard got to play. But for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
Remember we said that? This could
stinker.
be the game the bench gains some confidence and gets more time, and they got time for the wrong reasons.
Yes.
Wrong reasons.
It
was painful.
Pretty inexplicable. Many lows. Effort-wise, embarrassing.
Mm-hmm.
First final score, embarrassing. It was just. I thought the beginning of the third was even worse. It's like.
Well, I think they were shooting very well too. You have to. I mean, their percentages.
Were they?
150 points. 150
yeah, they got whatever they wanted. They under the basket. The lane was like, what is going on?
Yeah.
I mean.
Yep. And again, we were 30% as a team from three.
Yeah. It was
for 40.
A defensive abomination, really. It was we couldn't guard anybody.
Poor energy.
If we didn't have the next couple of games, we might have had some bigger alarms, but it was definitely the closest we've got to no.
We'll get to those. Even the next couple, I don't know. I still think
it hasn't been as
to
convincing, but for sure.
We have some work to do. We have
officially landed on Earth from our insane start, but landed in an all right spot. Anything else about that?
And we did score 117 points, which is what we've been doing. But we could not stop.
Defensive, it was just, I think it was like, embarrassing efforts. I had embarrassing in all caps defensive effort.
Yeah. And we look like old men. They look like spring chickens with a lot of energy, moving quickly. And we looked old. Like at one point, Brogdon was put in and he was like slow. We looked slow.
Yeah.
We looked really slow. I think we looked somewhat similar like the Nuggets game. I don't know. Like I just defensively, I thought we'd come out a little more on fire after that loss. And I think mentally,
I tried to dip into my conspiracy pocket of like a night out, then hungover, whatever, you can. They went from like Denver to Oklahoma City.
Their best guy?
Yes, SGA wasn't even playing.
Yeah. And so I think it was Jaylen Brown said once they heard that, they think
that was Brogdon. I was going to bring that up.
Oh, yeah.
Brogdon they were said once relaxed. They heard the news. Yeah.
And then it was all over. Yeah. The energy just was not there. Well, good for OKC. That's what I have to say, right? You needed some energy. Yes. You needed to keep your season going. Can you imagine being them playing every single night? And, good for them. That's all I can say. But it was
next one. Low point of the year. There were definitely couple people hit the panic on Twitter. We're hitting the panic button after that one, but
they had 5 players over 20, and I think 7 or 8 in double digits.
Yeah, no one it was
50% at 3, 59% overall. Yeah, 50% at 3 though, 20 for 40. It's
not like these were tough shots. It's open shot after open shot. I
Yes,
was
yes,
like,
yes, yes.
oh
I
my
think we were just shocked
gosh.
they were hitting them. There was no D. Agreed. All right.
After
Next up.
that, flew down to Dallas for the Luka experience. Celtics beat the Mavericks 124-95. Still sucks to watch.
I thought
Still.
they did a good job on Luka, though. I thought they did a really good job.
Oh yeah.
Defensively, I think they did a good job on Luka. You know, the lane still is just not covered enough for my liking defensively. For whatever reason, how we're playing defense, we do not leave anybody sagging into the middle. Like there's just too many free open buckets underneath. I think we need to work on that. That's one thing. But I do think we did a great job on Luka. I think defensively, this is where we are strong. When we know the other player, we know how to play defense on them. And we really shut him down or made it difficult for him, which I thought that was my high, actually, or one of my highs. My other high was I thought Brogdon had a great game. Because he is not really, I think he was awesome, doing really well for a while. Then he kind of got lost in everything. And I think he played really well that game.
Yeah.
I thought Grant played really well that game.
Those were my two highs. Those were my two highs with Grant and Brogdon. I was harping last week about the bench not stepping up. Yeah. And you'll see, I have a lot to say about those two guys this podcast, because I think they are key to a lot of the success we're going to have if we're going to be successful.
Agreed. 100% agreed. So I think you're right. Those were my highs as well. What was your low?
My low was, I know they only scored 95 points, but there's just effort defensively sometimes that just concerns me. Just falling asleep. Yeah.
They got easy buckets. Yeah. And again, we should have come off the last loss hyper vigilant and with more defensive energy. And I think we had it for Luka, but we did not have it in other cases. There's a lapse there.
It's clearly an effort thing, or just mental effort at the very least, just falling asleep. And it's easy to say, playoffs, they'll crank it up a little bit, but you'd like to see that sometimes at least.
Yeah, agreed. My low was, again, 3-point shooting. 16 for 43. I don't know. And I think we rely on it so much. It's still not where we have to be for shooting so many threes. That's my point is we shoot a lot of threes. We just do. I thought Jason Tatum had a great game that game. Yeah. I think overall, again, he had 29 points, but he was 11 for 12 at the free throw line. And that really added to his 29 points, obviously. 14 rebounds and 10 assists. I think that is where he stepped it up. Again, not shooting lights out.
I'm torn on whether I'm a fan or not a fan of him assist hunting at the end to get the triple double.
Yes.
Clearly.
True.
Clearly
a little more force,
yeah. He had I'll give him 8 legitimate assists in the last year. You need to let's force feed you 2 assists. I'm torn. I like that he's trying, hopefully that leads to more of that. Yeah. Just in general, that isn't in the end in garbage time, but yeah, a couple of those were some cheap assists for the old triple double headline.
Yeah. He's still in my mind. He's not an MVP, and I love the Celtics, and I think he's a talented. I think he can be an MVP. Still not this year. He's not my MVP yet. I'm hoping next year, but I couldn't do the chant most games, and I'm hard on him. But you're right about the assists. He is not a great passer. He's just not a great passer. He is not a person. Yeah.
What I will give him is his passing has improved every year. This is his best passing year, and he continues to get better at it. What I'll give Tatum is he continues to answer the questions. His assists continue to get better. Last year it was he's not getting to the basket, he's not getting fouled, he's not physical enough. He's answered that question this year to a absurd extent. He's just absolutely bowling people over in the lane, which has been amazing. So he's hearing this and working on it. So that's all. I mean,
agreed. And
he's never going to be the best passer, but
and he has to become a better passer. That's another conversation to be had. Is teams that don't figure out that we should be double teaming Tatum, like, what is wrong with you? Think about that. Well, what are you doing that you are not double teaming Tatum? Because when he has a bad game, when his head is not in the game correctly and he's off, typically we don't play well. I mean, we just don't play well. So I forget what game it was. They figured it out in the second half. Like they started double teaming Jason Tatum finally, but I'm thinking, who is not watching film on our team? That's like a classic thing. Double team Tatum. I think it was the Bulls that did it second half. They did not do it the first half. But anyway, I'm like, how do you not know that? That's your key to winning. If you're going to beat us, you need at points to double team Tatum. And to not have figured that out yet is, because he's a head case. He's still a head case. And that's why he's not my MVP. If I have to watch in a somewhat close game, him get upset with the call and him talking to the ref instead of getting back on defense in a somewhat close game, I don't know, like the number of times I yell at the TV, the other team is within 5 points. What are you doing complaining about a call at that point? You should not. You are a good defender, a good rebounder. We need you down on the other end. So that is where he bothers me. And it happened, I think, at the Bulls game when they started coming back and he was still arguing a call. So those are the little things why he isn't my MVP. There's certain things in timing. I don't mind arguing with the refs. I get it. As a star, you have that luxury. And so I don't mind, but it's the timing of things, the timing of those thudding threes that you shouldn't be shooting because the game is close and your percentage is not that high. Like, what are you doing? So those choices, smart choices near the end of a close game are what, again, take him out of the MVP running for me at this point. Top 5 maybe, but not quite there. Smart basketball. Anyway, sorry, that was my Tatum rant for the podcast. I usually have at least
Tatum
one.
rant of the week. Yeah, there's got to be.
Tatum rant. Yeah, I usually have one.
Shamrock talk without that.
I got it.
So moving on from the Texas back to back, going from the Mavericks to the Spurs in San Antonio. Celtics beat the Spurs 121-116. And my high right off the bat, the Perkins broadcast. We need one a year. And I love it. This is the exact game we needed on a road game that's not. I mean, so apparently he lives somewhere in like South Texas. So any Spurs or Houston game where they're not very good, and it's just, I'm in. Once or twice a year, a huge thumbs up.
For me, it was too close to the game for that kind of broadcast. I'm like, do you know how many times I said there's a game going on? And those two start going off on, it's like I told you in the text. 2 drunk old men sitting at a bar talking about the Celtics at times. Their war stories. They're like, what is going on?
I still don't understand what tomato chest means, but he said tomato chest.
Tomato chest. They kept saying
tomato chest.
That's the tomato chest. Like it's just you run into it and bounce. Yeah, I don't know. But oh my gosh, listening to them and they didn't even know in the first half what was going on. The game was way too close and Tatum was outstanding, elite. It's like they weren't watching the game and then Tatum or somebody would do something. Mostly Jason Tatum, once in a while Jaylen Brown, but other players were playing very well that first half and they don't even mention their names. So that brings me to my high. My high was Derek White's energy, obviously the Spurs and coming back. I thought defense overall, I thought he put a little spark into us when we needed it. Defensively, I thought he had 3 blocks. Yeah, I thought he played a great game. And I thought Rob Williams was a little spark plug in there too. I thought he played well. And I'm not as high on Rob Williams as everybody else is. I think he has some holes, some gaps when he's in there. But anyway, I thought those two, though, that was my high. Those two, I think, added a little spark that we needed at different times. What was your high? Oh,
I had Brogdon. I did have
he
the
was good too.
broadcast, but I also had
Agreed.
Brogdon. I think
agreed. He's been playing.
as you mentioned earlier, started off the year really well, went through a little cold patch, but now it looks like he's back. It's like boom. Huge help, 23 points, hyper efficient, and that seems to be how he's gonna, that's his ceiling with this team. If he can give you like a couple of those games, playoff series, you're golden. You got.
They were missing a lot of players.
They
were missing a lot of players. Some key players to their team.
Yeah, they are full on in the Wembanyama sweepstakes. They are trying their hardest not to win games.
I thought this game they played pretty hard, though. I thought he played. I think there was a little bit of a spark in there that they were trying. They thought it was within reach, and I think Pop was going for it. I don't think they were trying to throw this game.
No,
but my low was that the Jays had to play as many minutes as they did because this was such a close game. What? Like these are the games our bench should be able to go in and get some confidence and play. JB played 38 minutes. Jason Tatum played 36 minutes. Like that's too many minutes for this kind of game. Like, so that for me is, I just don't think you can go through the rest of the season feeling good, injury free, and go into the playoffs playing that many minutes against a Spurs team or an OKC or like what? I mean,
I agree.
That's every game. Good teams and bad teams, they're going to play 38 minutes or so that bothers me. 26 shots each, it just too hard against a team that shouldn't have been playing that hard or that many minutes. Your low?
My low is kind of connected. I said complacency. We're up like 12 in the third quarter, and we just act like it's over. We just throw it up our hands, and as they slowly come back, and at the end it was Sochan had a 3 to take the lead. I mean, late,
too close
with less than a minute left. It just
too close.
It was another sleep at the wheel performance at part of the end of that game that we thought we were just gonna pull out a win and got a little bamboozled. And as you said, I mean, that's a game where if you don't fall asleep for 5 minutes, then you're up 20 instead of you're up like we're up like 10 to 12 for a while.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
And our lane defense was still not good. Some of the shots that they were getting. And it was nice to see Josh Richardson and Romeo, I thought, had good games and were in there.
Yeah, they both played well.
But and a lot of minutes. Romeo played 31 minutes. Josh Richardson played 28 minutes. And, I thought Pop was like putting different people in. I mean, he really was playing a lot of people, a lot of the team. But it was nice to see them play well, but too easy. Defensively, too easy. I mean, that's part of the reason they crawled back in the lane. Too easy. The defense was just not great. But anyway, we pulled it out. But again, this shouldn't be an NBA championship in our future. Should not be a pulling out a game like this. We should be able to command. We may not blow them out, but we should be more comfortable than we have been.
Yeah. This is I see. I was coming up with all these lows for this and the next game, which we'll talk about. Celtics beating the Bulls after this, but it's like we have such luxury complaints at this point. Like we only won by 5.
Yeah.
It's like we've won 3 in a row, and we're number 1 in the East. We get to the point where it's like we should be blowing everybody out. It's like I
don't know about blowing out. I just would like a little more comfort.
No, I'm with you.
I think we're number 1, and we've been there a long time. So now I think people are jumping, as we are, to end of the season. What do we need to see to be a championship team? What do we need to see? And that's where we jumped.
Not only that, it's now you're like, you've established yourself as the favorite in the East. And now you have that, everyone's got that X on their calendars. Teams like the Spurs, oh, the Celtics are coming tonight. We have the number one, they're the team. Their Nets are like, they got that Celtics game circled. Celtics. It's like every team's gonna bring their best
I'm
at
not
you.
there yet. I predicted it, but I'm not there yet. I'm like,
we'll get to that as well.
a good 7 games against a good team. Can we keep it together? Like
at least it's gonna be a war. It's hard to predict,
yeah,
but
agreed.
better to be first than 10th.
Yes. We have some luxury, even if we lose some games, of being up there. Yes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So half a season to go, though. Remember what happened last season.
Yep. All right. So let's get the last game out of the way, and then we could talk about that as we're at the halfway point. Celtics beat the Bulls 107-99.
Closer than it looked.
Yeah, once
close.
DeRozan got hurt, we should have really, again, I'll start, I guess, with my low, which is, again, it's the same as the Spurs game. It's like you're up, DeRozan gets hurt, you're up. Like, again, I think it's somewhere in that 12 to 10 range where we think, we're just gonna ride this out to a win, and then it gets, Zach LaVine's just everyone just decides to stop guarding him, and you're in another game that you came out with, but could have very easily gone the other way.
You're low. My low was defense again, and along with that was Rob Williams. I think he's got some gaps, and I think there's a reason why he wasn't in a lot at the end. He just, his timing and I think he gives spurts of energy on D. He can, he blocks well, he does, but still how to play defense with everybody else that's out there is a struggle. And so I just don't think this was a great defensive game for him. And I think that's why he wasn't in there in the end.
Yeah.
I think he's a role player, and I think everyone's so high. Why isn't he playing more? Get him back in there, whatever. There's a reason when he was in there. That last,
if we get back to the Perk broadcast from last game, Perk was like, throw away the minutes restriction. I want Rob out there. I'm like, okay, he's just like,
well, this game he was out there.
That last minutes restriction. I'm like, well,
that last stint he was out was not a good stint, and that's why he didn't come back in. Defensively, he just at times cannot pull it together. And I think that's kind of going to be the way it is. I think he's going to be a little spark at times when we need him, and he's going to be in and out depending on how he does on defense. I think he helps us in offense. I think we do not use him enough. We are not feeding him enough on the rim. I think that is one thing. He needs a few more of those every time he's in. We need to be using that a little more, and we don't do a good job of that. But I do think it's going to be the defensive end. That's where, if he's playing well and he can mesh with the people that are out there, otherwise he is a liability because he's not scoring enough. But if he's not defending well enough, then so he was my low that game. I did not think that he showed enough versatility on his defense, and that's why he did not play a lot at the end of the game. And our lane defense stunk again. I think we just have so many gaps, and there's too many easy buckets in the lane for us. What was your high?
My high was Grant Williams. Thought he was great.
He was really good. I agreed.
And you'll notice, for anyone who's been paying attention, 3 wins. My highs, first game against the Mavericks, were Brogdon and Grant. Spurs game was Brogdon. Bulls game was Grant. Those are our bench guys that we really need to rely on. Those are the 2 guys that, because
they're high quality bench guys.
Exactly. When they struggle, we struggle. Those are the guys that really, when they weren't shooting well, when they weren't involved, that's when we were at our kind of worst, the stint we kind of had before this. They weren't high scorers, slumping shooting wise. And those are the guys. If Hauser gets you a couple buckets, that's extra. If you bring Cornette, Pritchard, any of the other guys is extra, but those are the 2 guys, especially when the playoff comes, that are going to need to be those first 2 guys off the bench. And you have Rob, which he probably will be a bench guy. I think you stick to probably.
It'll be interesting. There's a lot of pressure.
I guess
there's a lot of pressure.
That's the other thing we didn't mention. That was his first start of the year.
Yeah.
against the Bulls.
There's a lot of pressure to start him again. A lot of public pressure, a lot of, like, you hear it all the time. Why isn't he starting? And that brings me to the high. My high was Derek White. I thought his defense, and down the stretch, he had a key block. I think he hustles all the time. I really like the way he plays defense. And I think he's a little spark on defense. I do.
Yeah.
And he can be a little spark on offense. He drives, his timing is right, and his passes are good. I thoroughly think whether he comes off the bench or he starts, he is going to be with the Brogdon, with the Grant. When those three are contributing, we are going to win. Right? You know,
I
see
him as a step above those guys. I think he should start, and I think Rob Williams should come off the bench.
I do too. I think that's a nice surprise.
Correct.
I think Rob's a nice surprise.
What I think the way our team is built, we have a lot of luxuries, because the thing Robert Williams brings is, again, it's like when you're this high caliber of a team, you're really trying to see what do you think is going to translate to the playoffs. You know, again, we talk about the minutes to try to, you know, keep them healthy for the play. It becomes about the playoffs, and Rob is like a puzzle piece. The playoffs become a lot of times about matchups. Oh, we have a lot of success with this team with small ball. You see each other over and over again. And he's just a piece that it's like, what if we had Rob Williams with this team? And it's like, you know, trying to get that perfect. Yeah, you're cooking, trying to get that perfect mixture. He's like the ultimate spice that can ruin or, you know, make a dish fantastic.
Does he have a tomato chest? He doesn't.
He is the tomato chest.
Grant Williams has a tomato chest. I think, if I've got this right.
I don't know what a tomato chest is.
I think it's a chest that kind of absorbs the guys going to the hoop, and he doesn't have one. Grant Williams. Yeah. I believe that's what it's meant. I don't know. Maybe I'm totally.
If that's true, then
tomato chest. Finish your food. What does that mean? Help me. Finish your food. I'm still trying to figure out what that means. Finish your food. Does that mean make your shots? Does that mean, I don't know. Any listeners who have an idea, give us some feedback.
No, I'll tweet at Perk. I'll tweet at Perk and ask him. I'll send him this clip.
Food mean exactly? And tomato chest.
I really want to know
that absorption of someone going to the hoop. That's what I think. Tomato chest. I don't know, but you know who actually I also want to give props to, which we don't. Al Horford played incredibly well and a lot of minutes in the Bulls game. And down the stretch, his lane defense and his sort of handling the ball in the middle and making some great passes saved us in that Bulls game in the end. I think he also played incredible lane defense for a stretch there when we needed it. So I have to give him props in the Bulls game. He was noticeable. There were 4 plays where I think one right after the other, he was the difference on defense. He really, like he used to do before, played that top of the lane defense and one-on-one really, really well. And he has quick hands. When he gets to his spot and picks at the rim, not so much. He had a couple blocks there, but at the rim, one-on-one going up, I think he's well past that. He's just not taking. He's not a tomato chest as well. He's not taking those hits.
Do you know,
he is a good one-on-one.
They've mentioned this on the broadcast a couple times now, but how many free throws would you guess Horford has taken this year?
Not many.
What's your guess? Do you have a guess? On the year, 41
10?
games.
10.
You nailed it. It's exactly 10.
Yeah. Oh, good. There you go.
Free throws all year. That's crazy.
But he's not our at the rim offensive player. That's not his forte either.
Yeah, but it used to. I mean,
yeah,
you know,
he's just beyond the banging up, I think.
Well, here's my question. Is that on purpose? Is he resting? And does he have a playoff gear, or is this him now? Either way is fine. I mean, he's a plus player. I mean, he shoots the 3. I mean, one of our best shooters. Efficiency wise,
the ball.
So if this is what it is, that's fine. I have no issue with that. But I wonder if he has a gear in the tank. You know, if he could turn the clocks back one more spring.
So look at. He played a lot of minutes, I think, in the Bulls game, more probably than I would like to see him play. But how many rebounds did he have? in the Bulls game?
Celtics as a
I don't
team.
know. Yeah. No, how many did he have in the
did
Bulls game?
Al?
Yeah. Total. And how many minutes did he play? Look up that. How many minutes and how many rebounds?
You right here. Al Horford played 33 minutes,
Which
had 7 rebounds.
Yeah. And 7 is great. I'm not saying that, but I just don't think he is a pounding the boards. I don't think that's him anymore. And I think he is a skilled passer, assist. We run offenses through him. When we do run the offense through him, it's typically pretty good. He had a great play late in the game when, I don't know if it was Jaylen Brown or Jason Tatum, big complaint, thudding up threes. Our percentages weren't that high on threes, and we were still in a close game, thudding up threes when we had plenty of time on the clock. Why weren't we going inside? Don't even get me started. But he had, I think it was Jaylen Brown, who was terrible in that game. He was terrible at shooting, 0 for 8 at 3. And I think he threw up a 3. I believe it was him. And it thudded off. And then when we went down, we actually came up with an offensive play that did not include the Jays, which was terrific. And it was run through Al again. Al, Derek White, their passing is excellent. And I think that's who Al is now. I think he is a mature, not a lot of turnovers, can run the offense through him, good defense in certain situations when he's up, quick hands. But I don't think it'll be interesting even in the playoffs. Maybe because he's fiery and we are in the playoffs, he'll become that person. He just doesn't seem like that take the hits kind of guy. I think Grant is, but I don't think he is anymore. And that's what we were talking about, Pirtle or someone else being added to the team. I don't know why you don't see Blake a little bit more, taking a few of those hits and a few of those fouls down there. But I just don't think that's him anymore. Yep. Finesse player. He seems a little more of a finesse player now than he does.
For sure.
Pounding
crazy, 10 free throws all year.
Yeah. I just don't think he's a pound kind of guy anymore. He, and you're right. I mean, the talk you were saying, protecting him until the playoffs. And I think that's the way we're playing it.
I hope so. I hope that's what's
that I
all
think
right.
is, yeah.
We
wait, let me double check. Did I have anything else to? And you know what the big difference? I was looking, if you look at all the percentages, you know what the big difference and why we won that game? Free throws. Free throws were what put us over the edge and made us win that game. They were 9 for 14.
We are a good free throw shooting team, and that's
20 for 21. So that was the big difference. They were 9 for 14. We were 20 for 21. And I think if you look at the shooting and the threes, we were all pretty similar. Both teams were very similar, actually, in their percentages and how many shots, and free throws put us over which still is, I don't find that, especially for a Bulls team with no DeMar DeRozan. And it's funny because just before Zach LaVine started to step up, I had looked at Greg and I said, I don't understand why Zach LaVine is not going to the basket. He's passing so much. He's not taking very few shots in the beginning of the game there. And then suddenly he went to the hoop and he did. Stepped up and did his thing. And I thought he looked terrific.
Yeah, we couldn't guard him at all.
No, we couldn't guard him. Agreed. Yeah, we did not do a good job. I think we got comfortable again, right? We were up, DeMar went out, we kind of took a breath and he caught up. Anyway, player of the week.
Oh, player of the week.
Before we go player of the week.
I went with my Sun Devil, Lugens Dort. In the OKC game, we couldn't stay in front of him. He was just getting to the basket at will. Yep. He's a defensive guy. I thought he looked like the best two-way player in that game. I mean, oh my goodness. He shot it pretty well. He distributing the ball. He was just, I thought, oh my goodness. I thought he played extremely well. Never would have thought he was the player he was coming out of college, but he's a beast.
So my player of the week, there were too many OKC people that stepped up for me. I couldn't just pick one. I was like, oh my gosh, he played well. He played well. You're right.
I
Dort,
went with Dort.
I think, stood up.
ASU.
My player of the week was Levine. I thought he played well against us. And you're right, we had no response for him. But it's funny because I had player of the week, OKC, too many to pick. That was my first. Too many of them. They were all stepping up. Everybody.
2 Jalen Williams that were killing us.
5 players with 20 plus points. What?
Yeah, it's crazy.
So there were too many for me to pick one there. So I think out of all the games we played, I think Levine stepped up for me when DeMar went out. Because I'm a big DeMar DeRozan fan. I like the way he plays. I think he's solid. His shot is like a direct, and when he takes it, like, yeah, they're going to be a good team. I think
Scal always says his mid-ranger is like a layup. It is. It's like automatic. I don't know why he doesn't do that every time.
Me too. And he doesn't overshoot. He never seems like he's hogging the ball in the middle of the game or like, taking too many shots. I like his game. And when he went out, I too took a breath and like, oh, thank goodness, DeMar DeRozan's out. But Levine stepped up. So he was my player of the week. All right.
I'm gonna aggregate these all at the end of the year, and we'll have a player of the week list of everyone who won one. But we are 41 games through, exactly halfway for the Celtics. About that for all the other teams.
I'm way off with some of them.
We're gonna go over our preseason predictions. See how we stacked up. I'll share my screen with you so you can see them all.
I have them all written. Yeah, I have it. Yeah. Oh, good. That's nice.
Like this. Here's yours. Here's mine. Here's the standings as they sit right now. Yep. I'm gonna try to make a graphic with this for the audience, so hopefully it'll look a little nicer on their end.
Yeah.
We'll see how that
website.
Goes. Actually do that. Website's coming, but not ready yet. So you had Celtics 1. You're correct there. I had Bucks. I had them as my Eastern Conference champion, sitting 2.5 games back now, but we weren't.
I think they're coming though.
With bad at the front.
KD out, I think they're coming up.
Yeah.
I think they're going to be too quickly.
Well, I had a big stinker at 3 with the Raptors. I was way off on them. I don't even remember what I was thinking. I think we both had Scotty Barnes for our most improved player. We'll get to that later. But yeah, not good on my part. I whiffed on that one. I'm selling my Toronto Raptors stock. I don't think they're very good. Anything else stand out in your mind, on your end, on my end? I mean,
Pacers, I'm way off.
Yeah, Pacers, we both had it last. You're right.
What are they now?
They're in the playoff spot. They're 6th, 23-18.
They're doing great. They're only 6 out. That's the thing about the East.
The playing game.
The East, I mean, the top 10, all the way down to the Bulls, still only 10. We got 40 games to play or 39 games to play.
KD just got hurt, so the Brooklyn may just implode for a little, but
I did a little dance. I feel bad for doing a dance for KD getting hurt. I do. I feel bad, but I was a little happy there because they seem to be what was their streak? Like 12 in a row?
Yeah,
they had a streak going there. Dangerous. So little bit of a dance there. I'm not gonna lie, but they're still playing pretty well. Yeah. But I did do mostly for chemistry. I think if they get going and they figure out who they are, they're dangerous. I think everybody agrees with that. They're dangerous. Claxton, I mean, they just could be a phenomenal team. If their chemistry is figured out, I'm scared. And I was scared last year and we did fine, but I don't think they figured their chemistry out. I think with a 12-game winning streak, they started to figure out their chemistry. And now with him out, little dance, maybe their chemistry will go away a little bit.
Gonna get us canceled.
I feel bad. I feel bad. I want him to feel better, but I was a little relieved. So Pacers off there. Knicks, I was off as well. I had them low. And they're playing
the
very
Knicks
well.
have exceeded.
Yeah.
Expectations.
I had the Hornets, obviously. I had a little higher there. That was a little 11. I guess not that bad. but
Yeah, I mean,
they're
the Hornets,
obviously,
they're
yeah. And
abysmal.
Cavs, I didn't have high enough. I think the Cavaliers are going to do well. I have a feeling they're going to be. They're only 3.5 behind now, and I
Yeah,
think they're
I had
going
the
to.
Cavs way too low. Did we
Yeah,
do this?
I think
Was this after or before the Donovan Mitchell trade? I don't remember.
I don't remember either. Yeah,
Yeah, I don't
not
remember if
sure.
this was before or after the Donovan Mitchell
Yeah,
trade. Maybe, I mean, it was after. We both
yeah,
looked kind of silly. I should have had the Cavs higher for sure.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, I'd probably
So there are a few. It's going to be interesting.
if I had to redo
I
my
still
list
think we
now,
have a
I'd probably have them as third, fourth best team in the East for sure.
agreed after seeing. Well, they smoked us twice.
Yeah,
I the Hawks too. I think I had kind of high.
yeah,
And
you were a little high on the Hawks. I had
back.
them
I
sixth.
love
I've
Trey
never
Young. I
liked
love
the
watching
Hawks.
him.
He's been
I love
terrible.
Trey.
Oof.
I love watching him play though. Yeah, well, I think they made the mistake. Who was the other guard? I think it was a
DeJounte
mistake.
Murray.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I just unfortunately I just don't know how you do that. Right? You got two sort of
give them both ball dominant
yeah,
guards. Yeah.
yeah. I think that was a big mistake for them. Yeah, other than that, I think we weren't too bad with the East. I think there are some teams that I think we had
No,
the
yeah, little
Wizards
surprises,
pretty
but I
much.
think
Magic pretty much we had where they're falling. So not too bad.
yeah. Let's switch it to the West. The West, I would say similar to performance to our East picks. Definitely some teams that have
Obviously, look at you with the Nuggets
outkicked
up
their
there. I'll vote.
coverage. I knew I
Look at
had
me
them
where
as
I
my
had the Nuggets.
finals. We'll get to that after. I
The
knew the Nuggets were
Nuggets.
good. You don't have it.
Oh,
There seems
and
to
the
be this
Kings. That was a
evolution.
surprise.
Yeah, Kings are good
I
as
had
well.
them
I was not on
so
the Kings
low.
bandwagon.
They're like fifth. Unbelievable. Suns.
I
I
mean,
have a little.
Warriors. We're both. I mean, I
Yeah.
still
Well,
fear the
I think they're.
Warriors in the
Yes,
West.
I
Yeah,
agree.
yeah, they're on
Agree.
their they're on their
Yeah.
eyes. You don't want to
Yeah.
count
Nope.
them out. We both had them number
Nope.
one. Obviously, they have not
In the yeah.
lived up to that billing, but that's not a team that I'm
Great
gonna.
coach, savvy team. I'm not writing them out
Yes.
unless they have injury. Unless it continues.
If I'm
They need
ranking
everybody.
teams, if I'm ranking teams just on not record, just how or not even how they're gonna finish, just on fear of them, they're at
Yeah.
least in the top 4 in the West.
Agreed.
If not higher.
I agree. I agree.
Maybe 1. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. So they're lower in the standings, but power rankings wise, I would
Look
put
where
them
they were
higher.
last year. Very similar. Look how they did last year. This time of year, they were not. Steph was out.
Yeah,
Somebody else was out. I mean,
Look at this.
and they won the whole
Yeah.
thing. So yeah, I do not. I think they are a scary team. Do not underestimate them. If they're healthy at the end of the year and they're in play, I don't underestimate them.
Yeah.
Where did I have the Pelicans? I had them.
Yeah, you were on the Pelicans. You were
Not bad.
You were on that.
With the Pelicans. I think I underestimate. Oh, Grizzlies, I was up there too. Not too bad. Nuggets are my big. I don't know. Underestimated Jokic. My favorite. I disrespected Jokic. My now favorite player to watch. He is. I love watching him. He's like
but
this silent
there seems to
machine.
be this thing in the NBA where like players win MVP and then like slowly catch up to like being on a competitive team. I don't know what it is. Like Giannis did the same thing, won MVPs and then was competing for a title like afterwards.
Yeah.
So I just knew Jokic had won back-to-back MVPs. He wasn't going to be on
these smart teams. Players. He's a smart player who now has the luxury of figuring out who he needs. Who do you build around him to, and they could win the whole thing. I think.
Something is making sounds in my room. I don't know what's going on, but we can continue. Yeah, we have bats that like live here. So
inside?
No. Like we think the hole they live in is like right outside our window, so we can't keep it open at night.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah. Not easy to get rid of those. So I think Nuggets have a good chance of winning the whole thing. I'm just saying, after watching them play,
well, let's
they stay healthy.
let's get to the next part of our predictions. Our
Oh, yeah.
finals predictions. I had Bucks Nuggets. I would I would keep my Nuggets pick and probably swap Bucks. A little more bullish on the Bucks than I was at the beginning of the year.
I think they have
Still
a few
chance,
struggles.
still up there. Chris Middleton obviously is the huge X factor. If he's ever gonna be the player that he was and never gonna play.
I mean, they're only 2.5 out from where we are. They're up there.
They're still, they're still.
And I think the
heavily in
Nets are going to
contention.
slide with no KD. I think
agree.
they are.
But I just think they were my NBA champion pick, and I don't think I would make that pick again.
So who is most improved player? Who's up there right now? I really have no.
Well, okay, let's go in order before we.
I had the secret member Hauser. That's not happening.
Before we do that for our audio only listeners.
Do you remember that conversation? The secret Hauser pick?
Yeah,
I didn't do it, but that's not happening. He barely played.
So finals matchup, I had Bucks Nuggets. You had Warriors Celtics.
I'm way off with the Warriors, obviously. We'll see.
I don't know. I don't think that's necessarily true. I think both those are still in contention.
I think it's not, they're not losing anybody. They're the same team that they were last year. So you never know.
Yeah. MVP, we both had Giannis. I would actually stick to that. I think he could have a monster second half of the year. And
I agree. And that's only because Jokic, my favorite player, won it twice. So they're really because I think who deserves it right now?
Could be.
He does. Yeah, I think he does.
Number one in the West. So.
Yeah. He does deserve it.
Yeah, so we'll see on that. We both had Giannis for MVP. You had a special shout out for Jaylen Brown. He wanted to win MVP, which
that's not happening either.
He's taking a big step up this year, actually, but he's not he's not the MVP. Most improved, we both had Scotty Barnes. That is not a good pick. He is not going to be the most improved player.
No. No. So who is? I don't keep track of that at all.
Yeah, who would you put in that discussion? Like maybe like a Halliburton?
Oh, who was the one, the Cavs guy? Oh no, because he's a rookie. Rookie of the year. Who's the Cavs guy that I like?
Cavs guy.
Banchero.
No,
Wasn't he a Cavs
plays
guy?
For the Magic.
Banchero does?
Yeah, you are.
Oh, okay. He, I think, could be the rookie of the year. Rookie of the year.
Yeah, he was the number one pick.
Yes. He's the rookie of the year in my mind so far.
If he was on the Cavs, they'd be my
the Cavs guy that's improved. I thought the Cavs had somebody.
I don't know.
For most improved player.
He's a rookie. Banchero is a rookie. I would say Halliburton, maybe. That might be my pick.
Yeah. And who's he?
Tyrese Halliburton, Pacers guy, the point guard.
And they're doing well.
Yeah.
6 out.
Really good for them. I'm trying to think.
They weren't even on my radar.
Most improved discussion. Yeah.
I'd
go Halliburton. That would be my pick.
I thought, yeah.
Coach of the year. I had Mike Malone, Nuggets. You had Joe Mazzulla.
Could be in the running.
Yeah,
he could be in the running.
That we kind of both laughed at that pick, and that's not a bad pick at all.
He could be in the running.
The story, he's got the good story of being swung last minute. Team off to a historic start as soon as he gets there.
If they keep playing the way they are, he could.
Yeah, we should have put some money on a couple of these. Could have actually come out all right. Celtics final record. I had 50-32. You had 52-30. Kind of hoping to outdo that now, but
I think we're on target though, right? Because aren't they?
No, we're on pace to win 58.
Yeah, but of our last. Think about our last.
We're trending down.
You know what I mean?
I agreed. Yeah, we started off.
I think we're on pace.
Yeah, we could
exactly. That's what I'm saying. I think if you take our record, we're going to be pretty close. My
that I would agree with. All right, into our Celtics predictions.
Yes.
More minutes per game. We had Blake Griffin or Sam Hauser.
I think we both had Sam Hauser.
You said Blake. Yeah. No, you had Blake Griffin. No,
I did. No, I
can check the tape. I wrote down Blake Griffin.
I don't know, more minutes per game. I don't have that
I'll
on
go
here
back
anywhere.
to.
I
We
might
can
have
go
just
back to the podcast. I
yeah,
had you at
that's fine.
Griffin.
I might have had.
I don't want to bash you like that because you're definitely going to lose that one if you.
I don't have it on my sheet, to be honest with you, so I don't
Um,
remember. Oh no, I did have minutes. I had Blake. You're right. I had him
Yes.
circled. I got it. Yep, I did have Blake. Obviously wrong on that.
That is definitely going to be Hauser.
Yes.
It seems, unless
Yep.
injury or something knocks that down. More points per game, Derek White or Grant Williams.
I said
We
Derek.
both took Derek White.
Well, I think we're right.
Close, 9.9 to 9.0. He has
okay.
currently 0.9 points in the lead. I would think that would stay, but yeah.
I think Derek's going to continue.
Closing contention.
I
was pretty good on these questions. I mean, the first one was pretty obvious.
Yeah, you were good.
And more 3-pointers made throughout the season.
Where are we?
Smart or Brogdon. Let me check this. We both had
total.
Brogdon.
Yeah, total.
Yeah,
I think in the
totals.
end, we're going to be right.
How do I get to totals? There's a lot of these, but not total.
That's all right. We can figure out. We can look it up and we can look next. But I think in the end, at the end of the season, I think it's going to be Brogdon. Yeah, that's my prediction. I would stick with that by the end.
How do I get to this?
Because Smart has not been shooting the three well at all.
Made.
He's shot more, here. But
so on a per game basis, they're exactly tied.
Yeah.
1.8 made per game.
Yeah.
Who's missed more time? Who's played more games?
I think Smart, right? Brogdon was out a few.
Smart has played one more, but he's going to miss time.
Yeah. Which I think he should. That's another conversation. I'm so excited he's out. Yeah. He was hobbled both games. Yeah. He needs. Yeah.
He's going to be fine.
Yeah. Agreed. He will be.
Smart.
Yeah, I do too. But I'm glad he's resting right now. I think he needs that time.
Smart.
So I'm hoping he doesn't come back next couple games.
Smart. I think he's made more. My favorite Celtic, probably since he was drafted. Really.
Yeah.
But Robert Williams is coming for that crown.
Okay.
Right. Those are our questions.
Derek White is my big surprise. I think I was not expecting much, and I think he's gonna. I think he's gonna fit, and I think he's gonna push us over the edge. I like him. I like him a lot. I like the way he plays. I like the way his hustle. I just think he's willing to do anything, take the charge, and he's up and down the court. One of the first ones up and down the court. Yeah. So I really like him. But Smart, who doesn't love Smart? Just hustle play. But I think with his age and how much he's on the floor and the way he plays, he's going to have to be careful because I think he's showing his age a little more. Look at you.
All
showing your notes. You're very savvy.
Oh yeah,
tech savvy.
Sharing my screen. Take that out. But all I had next was looking ahead tonight. Where did I put my notes for this game? Actually, not there. Pelicans. Who knows who will show up for them? They're a good team. Never seem to have everybody fit. It'll be interesting to see them for.
Zion's still out. I think he is.
I think.
I thought he was out with
I'll have to double check. But
was he the fractured foot? Who just had a fractured foot? Who's out?
No.
For a while.
Let's see. Did Zion play in their last game?
So I think 2 tough games tonight and tomorrow night. I think they're both very physical. It's going to be interesting, especially with no Smart if he doesn't play. Have you heard he's out tonight? He is out.
No, I heard a couple weeks, so I would
guess
yes.
Yeah, good. Yeah. I'm glad he's resting because whether we fall a little bit, I would take it. I think he needs a rest. Like I said, he was not walking correctly a couple games ago, even before he was a little hobbled. So I think he needs. I'm glad he's resting. This is the time to do it.
After that, we got at the Nets on Thursday, at the Hornets Saturday, at the Hornets again Monday.
Those better be two rest games. That's all I have to say. We had better be able to.
Yeah, we have shellacked them the last couple times we played, but you never know.
Come on, some bench players playing easy breezy games. That's what we need.
Nets without KD should.
We hope. I'm not. I'm still worried. I think they're a good team.
That should be a message game now. You guys stink without KD, and we should send them a message. I just hate the Nets.
I don't feel like a message team lately, though.
Get stamped.
We don't seem like a message team lately, so it's going to be interesting.
That's why I'm ready to turn up the dial a little, at least in that one, and then you can take some time off with the Hornets.
And Mike Gordon is going to the Nets, and he should be there tonight. Is it home tonight? Pelicans home or away?
Yeah, it's home.
Yeah, so Mike Gorman. Thank goodness. Get rid of Perk.
Tomato chest.
I think Gorman offsets Scal a little bit for me too. Keeps him a little real.
For sure.
So that and Scal has
he'll be dearly missed whenever he decides to hang it up. Yeah.
So God, please. I need somebody to offset Scal.
Grandy's good though. Grandy's good as well. I like him.
Is he the radio guy?
Sean Grandy? Yeah.
He
does the away games.
Scal does not respect him. Scal
no.
Trollops him. And I need Scal to be put in his place a little bit. You need somebody that pushes Scal a little bit and expects a little more of him other than Tatum is an elite player. Then he goes off on a story and then he comes back.
I think my favorite was Perk is telling a story. And then Scal says something about the game. And Perk goes, "You interrupted me." And Scal goes, "There's a game going on."
It went down the wrong way. I totally remember something major had happened in the game. And finally, he's got the second half.
It's like a highlight play.
Close game.
Like, you interrupted me.
It's a big serious. He was so serious. It was like, what game? I'm talking right now. Yeah. Oh, I knew that went up my nose. I knew exactly the play you were talking about. Exactly. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. Yeah. But it was a huge play in the game, and the game was close at that time. And Perk is telling a story in the middle of this close game. I love it. Yeah. Oh my gosh. I do. I totally remember that. Too funny. Yeah. Perk. Interview him intermittently. Please don't make him. If he comes on,
be a full-time guy.
Oh,
1 or 2 games a year. I'm all in.
Please no.
Bring me Bill Walton for one, Perk for one.
He needs to get moving a little bit. He's a little too sedentary for me. Like showing him in the chair all the time. You need to get walking, Perk. Come on.
He said next time he's coming in his Crocs.
Yeah. He needs to get moving. He's like 2 people wide at this point. Literally 2 people wide. Dude, come on, move. All right, that's all I got.
That's it. We've gone on for
Celtics.
A long time in this one. Celtics. That's been Shamrock Talk. We are at Shamrock Talk Pod on Twitter, at Shamrock Talk on Instagram, Facebook, worldwide, everywhere, every platform. Website coming soon. Tomato chest.
Tomato chest.